Hello everyone and welcome to this fly tying video. Today we're going to tie the Laser Scud, which is a small gammer's pattern in a slightly grey olive color. Here in the vise I have the Hends BL 554. This is this pupa nymph hook with this continuous bend. This one is a size 14 and works really well for some small scuds. You could tie this up to a size 8. But I like to tie mine just a little smaller. To help with the taper and to give the fly a little more weight, I'm going to add some lead-free wire. This one is the 0.015. So I'm just going to attach this about 13 turns or so. And then what I want to do is to break this off with a little tag at both ends. And then to get a nice taper, I'm going to use my flat nose pliers. And I'm just going to squeeze the end. And I'm going to squeeze harder as I go out, so this way it will be really flat here at the top and a little less flat here at the bottom. So then what I do is I wind this on 2 turns or so and then break it off, and here, as you can see, you have this nice taper going from the shank of the hook up to the wire. And I'm going to do exactly the same at the rear end. So take your flat nose pliers, squeeze just a little at the bottom and then gradually squeeze more and more as you go, and then 2 turns or so with this one as well, and then using your nail you can break this off really close. And here, to secure this even more, I'm going to add a thin coat of glue. This one is really runny and really great. I like it very much for this type of tying. So it's so runny that it will soak down inside all the wraps and really keep this together. Then once the glue is dry, we can start tying. So what I have here is the Nanosilk from Semperfly 80 in beige. I'm just going to start right near the eye, put down a few turns of thread, and then back up again to the eye. And here we're going to cut off the rest piece. And here grab some small copper wire, and we're going to attach this on our way down. And we want this to be tied in right near the eye, and then using the thread torque we're going to carry this over to the far side of the hook, or the nearer side for you. So take this down a little bit down the bend, and here you can choose how long you want your fly. For the dubbing I'm using my Scud Mix one, and this one is an olive grey mix, and here I have about 7 or so different dubbings, each with a different characteristic, some with little coarser fibers, some with little sparkle, UV, some a little bit finer to bind all this together. And here what you do is you take quite a good amount, and we're going to apply this on our way up. And here you want to continue the nice taper we had with the wire. Here I've taken just a little dubbing, or a little smaller amount that I would usually do. This is only because if I take more dubbing I'm going to hit the camera. So what you do is you take this up all the way. If you don't have a camera that's in the way, you can do this in one go. Now I'm going to add just a little bit more. And here at this stage you don't really have to worry about anything, or fibers sticking out all over the place, or if you have a little tighter body on your scud. This will all be fixed a little bit later. So here we have the general shape of our scud, and now what we want to tie in is some scud back. For this I'm going to use some Senyo's Laser Dub, and this is a really great material. You can use it to do some heads on your streamers. or in this case it works really well for scud backs. And here I've taken a little pinch of this Senyo's laser dub in the color olive, and I'm going to tie this in with a little bit facing forward, so 3 really hard turns, and then I'm going to lift up the material, and then a few turns in front. And here this is really easy, as we tied in the wire and as we left it on the far side. What we're going to do is to do half a turn. So take your wire half a turn, then grab the laser dub, and we're going to place this on the top of the fly. So here we have this laser dub here, and then with the small copper wire we're going to spiral up the whole length of the body. So this is going to secure both the laser dub and the dubbing we had underneath, and also give a great segmentation to this little fly. So you want to make open spiral turns, and once you reach the eye we're going to tie this off. So bring the wire up vertical, then bring your thread up, and we're going to bend the wire 90 degrees. And at this point we can tie this in with a few really heavy turns, some over the dubbing, some in front, and then we can helicopter the wire off. The last thing to do is the whip finish. Here I'm going to do a whip finish over the scud back. So 3 turns, pull tight, and for this one I'm going to do another set, just to make sure this will never come undone. Cut off the thread. So now what you're left with is this quite boring little scud, but as you know, all dubbing is supposed to be brushed out, or at least that's what I'm thinking about dubbing. So I'm going to take my little Velcro and I'm going to brush out all the fibers underneath, and this will represent some legs on this fly, gills and legs and all kinds of stuff that's going to stick out on the belly of a scud. So here it's great to have some of these little coarser fibers that will really represent the legs, and some of the softer ones will represent gills. So this is a really easy way to make some scud legs. And then here you can either cut off these antennas and tails, but what I like to do is to just pull these out, so you're left with just a little whisper of dubbing both in the front and at the back. So here I'm going to pull this out as well, and here you want to bring all the fibers on the bottom, as we're going to apply some UV resin, and that's the last part of this fly. So here what I have is some diamond fine flex from Deer Creek, and this has become my favorite UV resin. So I'm going to apply just a thin coat at the top. Spread this around just a little. You can also take a dubbing needle or an old dubbing needle to do this. The easiest way to apply all these UV resins, and the best way, is to apply these a thin coat at a time. This way, when you set it, it will set really well, and then you can build it up with a lot of thin coats instead of one thick. And then what you want to do is to shine with your UV light, and this only takes a few seconds to set. And now I'm going to apply just a thin coat again. There we go, and we're going to set this as well. So there we have the Laser Scud, a really easy and quick little pattern to tie. Thank you for liking and commenting. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time, and happy tying!